Some stories touch the heart so deeply that they leave a mark forever. This is the story of a little girl whose innocent wish changed the life of a lonely millionaire. What began with a $50 bill soon turned into a journey of love. In the corner of a quiet park, family, under the soft glow of golden sunlight, a wealthy businessman named David sat on a bench. From the outside, his life looked perfect. Luxury suits, expensive cars, and a fortune that many could only dream of. Yet deep inside, David was broken. He had money but no warmth, wealth but no love, possessions but no people to share them with. As he stared blankly at the fountain ahead, a small voice pulled him back to reality. "Excuse me, Uncle." He turned to see a little girl, no older than 6, wearing a pink dress with a tiny ribbon in her hair. She held a $50 bill tightly in her small hand and looked up at him with wide, innocent eyes. "Uncle," she whispered nervously, "please, take this money. Can you be my dad for just one day?" For a moment, David was frozen. He thought maybe this was a prank, maybe hidden cameras were recording him. But as he looked into the girl's tearful eyes, he realized this was no joke. Her tiny hands trembled as she held the money out to him, desperate yet hopeful. "Why would you say that, sweetheart?" David asked softly. The girl's name was Emma. With a trembling voice, she explained, "All my friends have dads. They go to school with them, they play games together, they laugh. But I don't have one. My mom works all the time and I feel so alone. I saved all my money in my piggy bank. Maybe if I pay you, you can be my dad for just one day." David felt his chest tighten. He had spent his whole life chasing money, believing it could buy anything. But at that moment, he realized money could never buy what mattered most. Love, connection, family. He slowly bent down to Emma's level, pushed the money back into her hands and smiled with tears in his eyes. "I don't want your money, sweetheart, but I would be honored to spend the day with you. From now on, you can call me Dad for today." Emma's face lit up instantly and she threw her little arms around him. That day, David experienced something he had never felt before. He and Emma ran around the park, ate ice cream, laughed on the swings, and talked about everything a father and daughter would. As the sun began to set, Emma leaned her head on his shoulder and whispered, "Dad, this was the happiest day of my life." And for David, that simple sentence was worth more than every dollar in his bank account. The next morning, David couldn't stop thinking about Emma. Her innocent eyes, her desperate wish, her pure heart. It had shaken something deep inside him. For the first time in years, he felt alive, needed, and loved. He decided he needed to know more about Emma's life. Later that day, he went to her small apartment. The place was modest, worn out, and filled with the quiet struggle of survival. That's where he met Sarah, Emma's mother. She was a hardworking single mom, exhausted but determined, doing everything she could to provide for her little girl. When David introduced himself, Sarah looked both confused and cautious. "Emma told me about you," he said gently. "I just wanted to make sure she's okay. She's special." Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes. She confessed that raising Emma alone was tough. Bills piled up, work hours were long, and though she gave her daughter everything she couldn't fill the emptiness of a father's presence. Emma's request to David suddenly made perfect sense. David sat quietly listening to her story. The more he heard, the more he realized how blind he had been in his own life. For years, he had chased wealth while ignoring the emptiness in his heart. And here was a family, broken, struggling, yet filled with love, that needed someone like him not for his money but for his heart. Over the next few weeks, David began spending more time with Emma. He walked her to school, helped her with homework, took her out for ice cream, and read her bedtime stories. Slowly, Sarah began to trust him as well. Emma would often introduce him proudly, "This is my dad." David realized something powerful. Emma had given him more than he could ever give her. She gave him purpose. She taught him that being rich wasn't about money, but about love, compassion, and belonging. One evening, as they sat together after dinner, Sarah said softly, "You've changed Emma's world. She smiles more, laughs more, and believes again. But you've changed too, haven't you?" David nodded, his voice trembling. "Yes, Emma gave me back my life. I thought I had everything, but I had nothing. Now I finally understand what family means. From that day on, David was no longer just a lonely millionaire. He became Emma's father figure, Sarah's support, and the missing piece in their small but beautiful family. The $50 bill Emma once offered became a symbol in David's home. He framed it in his study, not as money, but as a reminder that love cannot be bought, only given. And whenever Emma asked him, "Dad, do you love me?" David would smile and reply, "Sweetheart, you saved me with that $50. I'll love you forever."